cause trouble with us. I've got something that solves a problem and not something that's in any way a problem. I got something good for you. I got something awesome. And I guess I'm excited about it because this is for everyone who has ever had someone get a hold of your credit card number and use it and buy stuff and you're on the phone. First you find out that there was unusual activity. Remember those phone calls in the old days? So they're out there using it. Then you used to go through that whole long process. Hold on, please, and give all the numbers and deactivate them and get new. In the old days, it was chaos, Donnybrook. Today, technology finally has the answer that you and I have been demanding. Isn't there a way to prevent fraud on your credit card before it happens? Isn't there a way to not go after the bad guy, stop the bad guy before he can perpetrate the fraud on your card? Of course there is. Now the website is AntiFraudCard.com. Go to AntiFraudCard.com, and what they've done is extraordinary. The head of MasterCard Security says, finally a way to stop fraud before it happens. Now, this is remarkable because the industry, as you know, as recently as the last holiday shopping season, has been besieged with fraud. Whether they go through the retailer and get your number that way or go through the card and get it that way, many of us have been sitting ducks for prey for these kind of horrible fraud traps that we fall into. There are too many to enumerate, and the specifics are not what matters. What matters is, do you have protection? Now, on your computer, you have your virus protection. You have your malware protection. You have something on that computer guarding the door. Now it's time to do the same thing with a brand new opportunity for you as a cardholder, where a patent has been filed to stop fraud on MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. And the most powerful endorsement you'll ever hear is from the head of MasterCard Security, quote, finally, a way to stop fraud before it happens. Now I know I have your attention. You're going to use your cell phone. You're going to press a button and then run your card transaction. The website is www.antifraudcard.com. You're hearing about it here on the Ed Tyll Show because we are a guardian of working people's hard-earned money and prosperity. And believe me, after the recession, everybody is watching their spending. No one has time to have chunks of their credit card spending ability defrauded and returned. A long time it takes, if ever, in many cases. Long time in some cases to get made whole. In other cases, never. So the answer has finally arrived in an era where apps and ideas are breaking through old technology. Well, this smashes the vulnerability that MasterCard, Visa, and Discover had for years. This is the beginning of the end of you ever being defrauded for your credit card. So if you want to stop fraud on your MasterCard, you want to stop fraud on your Visa and your Discover, then you'll, like me, pay heed to the head of MasterCard Security when he says, finally, a way to stop fraud before it happens. Now, here's what you're going to do. The website, www.antifraudcard.com. You go there, use your cell phone, you press a button, then you run your card transaction. This is an amazing preventive. So I want you to think for 1 second about the amazing vulnerability just in the last year. Everybody, you know how you wince. Especially when you're traveling, especially when it's someplace you haven't used it before. You have no idea. Are they reading my card? What technology are they using against me as a consumer? Do you remember this? Years ago, they put a camera over the shoulder, and they would get a look at the card number. Then they would have a card reader, and they would stand near you, and you would take the card out, and in the midair, they would snatch your number and your access code, and they never stop. Because they're the bad guys. The bad guys always have a new idea to come after you. So stopping them before they're able to commit fraud on your card, your MasterCard, Visa, or Discover, is what this is all about. You'll use your cell phone, you'll press a button, then you'll run the card transaction. See how it works at www.AntiFraudCard.com. How valuable is it for you to be able to stop fraud before it happens? Not chase after the bad guy after he hits your card, that horrible phrase. The bank or someone calling you, the Visa, you get there's been some unusual, and right away your stomach falls out. You're like, oh, how bad is this going to be? And it can be thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. So you know the nightmares. You've seen them, you've heard them. God forbid it's happened to you. Prevention is the breakthrough announcement. Go to AntiFraudCard.com. It's a filed patent to stop fraud on MasterCard, Visa, and Discover, and the head of MasterCard Security calls it finally a way to stop fraud before it happens. It is. It's breathtaking in the amount of peace of mind it affords you. You get to use your cell phone, and by pressing a button, you are then able to run your card transaction and stop fraud before it happens. Go to AntiFraudCard.com. You're shopping sometimes for business. You're shopping. You got the different cards, right? You got the one that you use for your home business. You got the one that you use for all the kids' expenses. You got the one that, all it takes is one fraudulent access successful against you, and literally tens of thousands of dollars can vanish. That's what's at stake. You're saying to me, all right, Ed, what's at stake here? I am telling you what's at stake. Go to AntiFraudCard.com and protect, as the head of MasterCard says, stop the fraud before it happens to your card. Stop the fraud. It's remarkable, and we're proud to share it with you. Here we are back from Labor Day. You say, well, have you gotten anything good for me since the holiday, Ed? What's new and what's good since the holiday? Here we are the first day back. It's AntiFraudCard.com, and you are hearing about this maybe for the first time, but I'm sure you're smiling as you're listening, because you now know you can stop fraud before it happens to your MasterCard, Visa, or Discover card.